Hello beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel, or if you are new then welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to click the subscribe button so that you can become part of our growing spiritual community. So as you can see from the title for today's video, we are unboxing the White Numen Tarot. So let's get started. Weird outfit on, but no one needs to know. Everything you need will be in the description box below, including any timestamps, and I always do a pick a card or a card reading at the end. So if you've already seen this deck, you are welcome to just go down to those timestamps and jump over to the reading. But for now, let's get into the deck. So this literally arrived like a week and a half ago. It's been so hard not to like go over and touch it. That sounds weird. That's what she said. It's been so hard not to open it and look at it because I really wanted this deck for a while. I saw it on the Liminal website and I thought it looks really beautiful, but I've got loads of decks and I have bought loads recently, so I don't really need another one. And then they had a 25% off sale and I was like, oh well, it would be rude not to. So I have the deck, and it also came with this velvety pouch, which I don't really understand, I'll be completely honest with you, because it doesn't fit the box in. And why would you ditch the box, which is beautiful, for a velvet pouch? I just don't understand that logic. So I will probably use this for something else. I don't know what. It's a nice idea. I just wish it was slightly bigger or maybe a nicer color. That's just my preference. But it does feel nice. It's just, yeah, like what would you want to take the deck out of this and put it in that for? I don't know. So I'll probably just use that for something else. And then it also came with a catalogue for Liminal's Autumn and Winter 2020. That seems unlikely that. So we've just time traveled back to 2020. It doesn't really matter. There's some really beautiful things in here. It's been lovingly put together. I mean, the colours and everything are just fantastic. I'll do a couple of close-ups of the inside of it. It's gorgeous. I hadn't actually taken in that it was 2020, or really maybe I had, and it just feels like it's still 2020. So technically I was like, yeah, sure, 2020, that's fine. I really didn't notice that. Okay. So that's what came. I did not go for the special. I did not go for the special edition because my wallet would not allow it. Would have loved it, but I definitely could not afford it with the amount of things that I've ordered recently, because I have a lovely haul video for you coming up soon, which you guys can enjoy. So let me just get into the deck, because that's enough talking. And I do have my scissors. Let's use those. That would make life easier. Oh, there's a good spot. See how much easier life is with scissors? Okay, let's get into this. Okay, so here's the box. It's lovely and matte, and on the back, obviously, it has a couple of examples of some cards. It says, lighting your path to the spiritual realm. Really like that. And there's also two bonus cards, which is the White Numen and the Black Numen. On the side, we have this gorgeous image. Not sure who that'll be, but I love that she has these flowers in her hair. It could be like a kind of empress or something type energy, or no, that's the veil though, isn't it? Maybe it's not. I don't know, flowers. Anyway, and then on the front, obviously, you've got this gorgeous image. This is the image I couldn't stop looking at, which is really what called me to the deck, actually. Really love it. It feels very protective. I guess it's the Fool, but I love that she's got all of these beautiful Numen around her. And then we have this one. This looks like the Hermit to me on this side. On the bottom, it just says some information, and on the top, you obviously have White Numen. So let me just see, how do you get into this? This is so cool. So when I was looking at this the last few times, I thought, oh, they haven't scored the back line here, because I have one of their other decks, which is the Modern Witch Tarot, and you obviously slip the top off. And I thought, oh no, they've forgotten to score that. I'm going to have to score that. But actually, you guys, it's magnetic. We love a magnetic box. Perfect. That's really nice. It's got this gorgeous detailing inside, and then I guess you just slide this out. Isn't that satisfying? Oh, it's really cute. I like that. Oh, what a lovely idea. I really like that, because firstly, if any of you have the Modern Witch Tarot, you know for a fact that it's really easy to pick up the box and it falls out. I've definitely done that at least twice. And at the same time, it's going to keep them really nice and neat. So there's just a little bit of card in here. I'm going to be able to get it out now. So the box itself has this gorgeous star and moon theme. And again, down the side, I really like that. For me, that's gorgeous. Really nice blue as well. It's like a really soft colour. I don't think it's showing up very nicely on this, but it's a really lovely blue. So let me just tip the cards out and I get that piece of card. And then the inside of the box just echoes the inside of the other box. I like that. I feel like that's really nice. They've included that magnetic bottom. I like that a lot. That's really nice. And then obviously what they tend to do is these smaller guidebooks, which actually has what looks like one of the King of Wands maybe, and it just says instructional guide. And then on the inside they have this gorgeous design, and I know this design was included in the special edition box inside the tin that it came in, which is really, really nice. And that's on both sides. And then is it in colour? Yeah, it is in colour. How interesting, because if memory serves, the Modern Witch Tarot is not in colour, right? I meant to bring it with me so we could do comparison and I forgot. How's that for preparation? But we've moved out of Virgo season, so it's really fine that I'm forgetful and back into Libra. So we've got these lovely colours, really nice little guidebook. They don't tend to do reverses, but what is nice is they've included keywords. I like that. That's nice, because if you're somebody who's quite well versed in tarot, you don't always need to read the full thing. I mean, sometimes you won't at all, but it's quite nice to just go, oh, just let me remind myself, oh, it's just that. Okay, great. So that's quite nice. I think it's nice that they've done it in colour. And can I just say as well, this deck is normally $21.99 UK. I was going to say UK dollars in pounds, but I got it for £16 with a 25% off, which I think is really, really good. And it's come in colour. And if you remember, I did the Children of the Cosmos unboxing and it wasn't in colour for the book. So I have to say, I do think that that's possibly because this is a really large company, that they've been able to produce it en masse and therefore make it not only cheaper, but make it so that it's in colour. But it's just something worth noting that that is in colour if you like colour. Who doesn't? Okay, so let's get into the deck. There's nothing on the edges, which is interesting. Again, you know that I like my silver or gold foiling around the edge. I just can't understand why you wouldn't put that on a deck. That's just me though. That's just me liking my bling. So let's talk about the back of the deck first. We have this really gorgeous image, which, can I say, almost looks slightly blurry. Maybe that's just because they've tried to give it a bit of movement, but I almost feel a bit like I've taken my glasses off or my contacts out. So we have the wand, the sword, the pentacle, the cups, and then what looks like cranes and the dog, which I presume is connecting it all to the Numen, right? So I really like the back of this deck. When I saw the back of this deck, this was another thing that made me think I really, really like that. That's such a nice deck. So okay, let's take a look inside. I'm going to do some close-ups of the major arcana for you guys, but I'm not going to show an entire flip through, and that's because part of the inspiration for me getting this deck was one of my fellow YouTubers and friends, Nisa, who runs You're the Power Tarot channel. She actually did a full flip through, and that's part of the reason why I thought I actually really like this deck, is because I had watched that. So I'm actually just going to link her video in the description. So if you want to see every single card in the deck, please go and check her out. Firstly, she's lovely, and secondly, there's a full flip through in that video she did. But I'm just going to go through the major arcana and we'll just have a little look at those and talk about what the cards feel like. So firstly, let's talk about how they feel. They look the same size as the Modern Witch Tarot, but I think they might be ever so slightly wider. We obviously have the title at the bottom and then the number at the top with a little edge around. Sometimes I don't like framing because I feel like it just ruins the art, but I think actually they've done it really nicely here. And it is that kind of shiny feel. It's not matte. So the box is matte and the guidebook is matte, but this is that kind of shiny, I don't know what it's called, but where it, you know, it feels really like slippy. I don't know. It's worth saying it's not too bad. I mean, if you guys have watched my Gentle Heart Tarot unboxing, it's a very thin card, Gentle Heart Tarot, and it makes me nervous sometimes because it's so thin. Whereas this has a good enough cardstock. It's not perfect, don't get me wrong. Can you hear that? But it's good enough. I don't feel like you're going to bend this that easily. So let's take a look through. So we have the Fool. That's a really nice card. Yeah, that is the image from the front. The Magician. Don't you just love his face? Do you know what he reminds me of? Is a little bit like some of the characters in Tintin. Yeah, that's right. I was cool when I was a kid. Just the eyes remind me of the guy, I can't think of his name, but the guy who was in Tintin, who was Tintin's friend, like the captain or something. The High Priestess, who, let's face it, is a bit of a sex bomb in this. Am I allowed to say that? Whatever. Really, really beautiful image. She kind of looks a bit like, oh, who are you? I quite like that. Yeah, that's fun. Then we have the Empress. Okay, this is the Empress. That's another nice card. I really like the drawings. I'm somebody who prefers more fluid and curvy drawings. I don't really like angular or really like hard lines in my drawings. I don't know what it is, I just don't like it. This is the Emperor. Well, he looks like he's making a really tough decision there. It almost looks like he squeezed something so hard it's popped out of his hands. Like those lava lamps, which is interesting. Oh, that's the Hierophant. She looks great. Love her. What a gorgeous card. Then we have the Lovers, lovely card again. I love how happy and like blissful that person with their eyes closed, like that's cute. But interesting that there's the snakes there, that's kind of interesting. Then we have the Chariot, which I think this is such a funny card. Look at the little boat thing that it's on, like is it a crocodile? What is it? Like obviously, you know, it's going to have a lot of animals in this because of the Numen and the animals, right? So, but I don't know what kind of creature that is. It reminds me of those like big rubber ring dingy things that you get as a kid, but I like that. Then we have Strength, nice card. Actually, that's cute. I like how they're kind of really connecting. It's almost like crown to crown, that's lovely. We have the Hermit, so that was the Hermit on the side of the box, which is this moose. Interesting. Are mooses? How do you say that? Are mooses quite shy then? I don't know. Again, I don't know much about animals. Wheel of Fortune. Oh, she's cool. She looks like she would not take any rubbish. And Justice. Yeah, lovely card. What a big sword she has. That's cool. I mean, I'm saying she, but actually to me that's a really androgynous figure. So I love that. Okay, the Hanged Man. If you turn him the right way up, he kind of looks bird-like, which is really interesting. So again, I love the interpretations. Death, she's cool. She's one of the cards that I saw on Nisa's flip through and I was like, wow, I really like that card. And it's quite rare, I think, to really like a death card, right? So I can't remember what the Tower is, but I had a lot of death cards in the last couple of years with all the stuff that I've been through and the losses that I've had, and I've had a lot of the Tower card. Like Tower's basically been like every reading I've had Tower in. Okay, so Temperance, interesting, because it's like she's like not looking and she's got this cut on her cheek, which is fascinating to me. And again, there's the bird quality in the sleeve, which is really nice. The Devil, I'd say this is probably a card I really don't like. I just really hate that the pupil is missing from that one, that right eye, or left eye I guess it would be. I just don't like that. That's just me though. Again, like I'm like, oh, just creeps me out a bit. But again, she's got a cut, or this person has a cut, just like Temperance. Really kind of in the same place, but they look like very different beings. So that's interesting. Okay, so the Tower. So really in this, who designed this, by the way? Alba Gonzalez. Alba has really zoned in, I think, or zoomed in on a part of the Tower here, and it's like 3 arrows through the heart and the chest. That's quite intense. Sometimes I find it really interesting how different tarot creators are happy to become quite intense with what they do, whereas other people are maybe more soft or subtle with what they hint at, which is why I loved the Gentle Heart Tarot, because it is so soft. Then the Star. That's nice. Interesting, interesting. The Moon, which is cute. Again, the Moon can be quite an unpleasant card to receive sometimes. It's like people talking behind your back and negativity and things, toxic friends and things like that. Whereas this actually is quite a nice interpretation. The Sun, I love this. Like the swagger. I want that outfit. Like how cool is that outfit? Do you know what it really feels like? It really feels like they're not on Earth. Does that make sense? I mean, I obviously don't know this artist, so I don't know the creator or the artist's preferences. Like some people really have a really good, strong focus, but a lot of the art to me feels very otherworldly. Like, I mean, looking at the moon, it literally looks like they are on, I don't know, some kind of moonscape, right? And the same here, like it looks like she's bouncing the sun. I don't know, it's just really fascinating to me as a deck. I find it really interesting. Judgment, which is interesting. This thing like around the third eye area. And the Wild. Okay, it was the Wild on the side. Yeah, I love that card. That's really beautiful. Really nice. Okay, so that is all of the major arcana. What do you guys think of those? I think they're really lovely. I'm excited to get to know the deck a bit more and obviously tune in a bit more to the art and the interpretation and what's going on there. But I thought it'd be really nice to actually pull some cards. I'm going to do a 2-card pull. So pick a card out of card 1 or card 2. So let me just clear the deck, tune into it, and then I will be back to pull 2 cards. I think I'm going to pull just from the major arcana because I'd like to have a very strong message at the end of this. So let me just clear and tune into the deck and then I'll be right back. Okay, let's just tune in. So I'm going to pick 2 cards from the major arcana. Just what do you need to know right now in this moment? And the reason I'm picking 2 cards is because if you guys didn't know, I am now doing card readings for each astrology season. So I've just done one for Libra season. I'll be doing another, or I might have already by the time this video comes out, might have done one for Scorpio season. So I will be doing more in-depth readings each month. So if you're interested in that, don't forget to subscribe so you can tune into that every month. So let's just see, what do you need to know in this moment? Picking now either card 1 or card 2 to see what's coming up, or maybe what you're finishing as well. You know, there might be a cycle finishing. And let's just set the intention of this to be of the highest good of the people who are watching and tuning into this. Let's see what we've got. Card 1. Okay, let me just get card 2 and then we're ready. Okay then. Okay, that's where we're going with this. Let me just move those. Okay, so just tuning into yourself and just what do you need to know in this now moment, and choosing either card 1 or card 2. And if you chose card 1, then the card you have is the Star, which is such a beautiful card. Well done you for picking such a lovely card for you today. Oh, so for some of you this could be showing up because you're starting a new area of your spiritual journey. And the reason I say starting a new area is because you're always on your spiritual journey, right? Whether that's conscious or subconscious or unconscious, you are always on your spiritual journey when you are incarnated, whether that's here or elsewhere. And so it's more just about the consciousness, right? It's when you awaken to it. So you've heard me talk about soul plan before, or if you haven't, then you guys are going to need to check out my other videos. But in soul plan we talk about you having these worldly elements and these spiritual elements, and they're always all there. It's just that you become consciously aware of them. So maybe you're moving into a new part of your journey consciously and something new is coming in, and in which case I feel like you perhaps need to go within a little bit and spend a bit of time tuning into what it is that you're going into, whether that's a healing element that you're going into, or whether it's more about you deepening your connection to your soul and expressing that more. But there's something connecting to your spirituality which is coming to the forefront more and more. There's also obviously a really good connection to your intuition with the Star. It could be that you are developing your intuition a little bit more, and that might be part of your journey. Maybe in the past, this has been coming up a lot actually recently, but maybe in the past there's been a denial or a block around your intuition, and now you're stepping into a space where you're ready to connect to it. And also I feel like connecting therefore more to your own channel. So maybe in the past you've consulted other people, and maybe that's through readings or healing or something that other people have offered, and you've gone and received it. But this card is saying maybe it's actually time to listen more to yourself, to tune more into what you know, your intuition. How can you help yourself in this situation? Like, what's your soul suggesting or telling you? Because whilst it's wonderful to have external advice or guidance, ultimately you are the one who knows what's right for you, right? Nobody can tell you that something is or isn't right for you. Only you can decide that. So even if people tried to make you believe otherwise, right? So I think this is a little journey that's going on actually within you right now. And maybe you've already started it, or maybe it's about to happen, but you're really getting more in touch with yourself and your soul, and understanding yourself more and who you're here to be, how you can show up, how you can share that. So obviously that requires time, as I say, alone. And it almost feels like the shadow element or the underlying element of this would actually be the Hermit, if anything, for me. And obviously therefore you're going to need some balance, right? Because sometimes when we get into a spiritual awakening, or we move into another part of our journey, we sometimes just completely plunge straight into that. And whilst that can be amazing, it also can really imbalance your life. And instead of it being like this, it's like this, right? And you're just totally like plunged into the spiritual, forgetting about the earthy, so you become really ungrounded, right? So just trying to bring a little bit more balance and doing some physical things that you enjoy doing every day. You can interpret that how you like, but I definitely get a sense of that. I'm also wondering if there's maybe a bit of creativity that's coming in as well, because obviously we have the inspiration. So here are the things I'm picking up is inspiration and abundance, okay? Because I feel like she's in a really abundant space with all these beautiful leaves around her. She's got all this gold in her hair. She's pouring very freely out of 2 jugs. She's kind of like, hey, I've got so much. I can just pour it. It's good. I'm full, right? So maybe there's some creativity coming in as well for you. So just kind of allow yourself to be inspired. So yeah, there feels like there's lots of creativity, inspiration. So maybe go and do something to reignite the inspiration. Again, this journey of like finding yourself. So maybe visit some art galleries, maybe try baking, maybe try painting, maybe try gardening, maybe try singing, just anything that feels good and a little bit different. Just try it and see where it takes you, because there could be something that comes out of it that you're inspired to then focus on, or that can help you with something. And then, as I say, there's the abundance. I just feel like you could almost everything you touch could turn into gold if you wanted it to. That's what I'm really getting, is this pure overflow and this really good connection. So again, maybe you're tuning into your manifesting, but if you're not, definitely do if you pick this card. It just feels like the money and the abundance and everything is just like right there. All you have to do is just reach out and open your palm to receive it, right? So wow, what a beautiful card to receive. Let me know how that resonates in the comments below for you. So if you picked card pile 2, then the card you picked is the Moon. Now I did say earlier, it's not a great card and it can be really good. It's just that, yeah, that's how I've traditionally known it. Let me just check what she's saying. So what's really interesting as well is these cards are actually next to each other, right, in tarot, and I really shuffled these. And I picked that first card, shuffled and picked this, shuffled again and picked this card. So I literally love that that's come out and they're next to each other. How weird is that? So here's the interesting thing with this card. It's very much about your subconscious, and it's very much about illusion and delusion, and maybe just like coming away from that. So we obviously know that when there's a full moon, that's when they say like things hit the fan, like truth is revealed, things come up that have been hidden. So that could be happening in your life right now. It could be that something has been hidden and it's coming to the surface. It also, as I said before, it could be that there is somebody who is toxic or negative in your life. Maybe they've been there for a while, but maybe they have really been showing their true colors. Or do you know, this feels really similar actually to a reading I did recently actually, which is strange. So obviously the energy is still quite strong for that, so I just want you to check in with that. And it might be that maybe you're a bit lenient with somebody and let something slide. Really, you knew deep down that that wasn't the right thing to do and you weren't being true to yourself, but at the same time you're like, well, I love them or I care about them. Something's happened. So it's an interesting card to receive. I mean, it could be that right now you're living from a space of like fear and anxiety and something's holding you back. And maybe that's because of past experiences you've had relating to this. It's like, okay, well, that could happen again. So I'm going to stay away from that. I feel like the energy is really strong. This is a really strong message. If you've also seen my Libra season card reading, I feel like this kind of message came through, which is weird to me. It's strange that the energy is that strong. So this is the theme for this month, really, with what's going on actually. It's almost like these two cards are like reflecting exactly the kind of message that came through with the last thing. I don't remember everything I say when I do a reading, obviously, because it just is in the moment, but this is what I kind of felt was coming in. So we've obviously, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I would go back and watch that video. I'd be interested to see if you pick the same type of card again. So anyway, another thing to say about this card is we talked about toxic people, and it's kind of like this one's just doing its thing. It's got its head to the ground, it's working hard, it's getting on with life. And this one's prancing, and in a way you could argue this one's prancing and will pounce on them. So it's kind of like, what's coming to me is watch your back a little bit, because this person, okay, this person might look and sound like they're a like-minded soul, but they're not. Okay, that message is coming through. So these wolves look very similar, right? And yet there's a difference. So there's a shadow quality. So okay, lots of messages coming through. So obviously this person, if this is what's coming up for you right now, obviously this person is somebody who is almost presenting themselves like, I'm this kind of person, I'm that kind of person, I love the same things as you, we're really similar, we have loads in common, oh my god, we're so similar, right? But you're not, and it's false. I think you know that, but you're almost like, really though? Because they're so good at presenting this facade, and you're like, no, that can't be right. But like, yeah, your gut knows it. So yeah, this is interesting, because if you haven't seen card pile 1 reading, or the first card reading, please go back and just watch that a second, because I feel like this follows on quite strongly, and obviously tarot cards do follow on one from the other, right? So it's kind of like you've developed your intuition, or you're developing your intuition. So this could be part of your spiritual journey. So even though I've chosen these cards as 2 separate readings, there's a lot of connection here. It's kind of like part of your journey is to awaken to this so that you can tune into your intuition more, but you have to go through this because the universe has tried before to say to you like, hey, you're really intuitive, you know all these things. At the same time, you're ready to go to the next level. And sometimes when we're ready to go to the next level, maybe a lesson is slightly more challenging. You know, it's not all like airy fairy sunshine. So it's almost like your heart has to be broken open to receive more love. Does that make sense? I know that sounds quite intense. This is interesting. This was absolutely not the reading I was expecting at all. thought that they were going to be really different. I didn't think there was going to be so much of a connection with them, so that's interesting. So that's why they've come up. Yeah, you can almost enjoy both of these cards and see what's coming up. Obviously, if you just resonate with one, that's fair enough. Again, trust your intuition. But the good news is, I would say, is that you can hold your head high and know that you have integrity and authenticity, and that this was part of just your path. It's like this self-worth that's coming in, right? So when you believe in and value yourself, other people of the same mindset are absorbed to that, right? Because they're like, oh, we have a magnetic connection, we are the same. But when you don't believe in yourself, when you don't have very good self-worth, people who can take advantage of that are like, great, there's somebody for me. Almost like a narcissist. I feel as though you kind of had an inkling that this person might be a bit suspicious, and then because they seem so lovely, you were like, no, it's fine, and have kind of pushed your intuition, your feelings down. And maybe you've even said to other people, like, what do you think of this person? And again, I don't know whether it's going to be showing up for you romantically or friendship, right? Because it's coming to me as a friendship, but that doesn't mean it couldn't be a romantic experience for you, because I would hope that your romantic relationships do have a basis of friendship or a strong friendly connection. It's almost like you just knew that there was something dodgy there, right? This little tingly gut feeling, and then you were like, nah. But what's interesting is the card that's come up at the bottom of the deck, or the bottom of the major arcana. Oh, that's interesting, is justice. So I do feel like there will be justice for this outcome. And then what's worth mentioning is that underneath that is the Hermit. So I was picking up that kind of like shadow, that underneath layer of the Hermit with the star. The outcome of this situation is justice, but it's just, you may obviously need some time for healing and self-love and self-care, and ultimately it's there to make you stronger, right? Because I think it's important to share that outside of Earth and in the spiritual, you can call it heaven if you want to, but in that space it's just love. It's only unconditional love, joy, trust. It's really actually very difficult for another soul to agree to hurt or cause harm to another soul. No soul enjoys that. We often reincarnate obviously with our soulmates and our soul family and people we know. So there could be karma that's going on with you and this person, and it's needing to be cleared, but also this soul could have agreed to help you with this next stage of your spiritual journey. So I almost feel like the Star and the Moon cards here are interchangeable. It feels like there's this, like one is affecting the other. It's like you go through a difficult situation, it's asking you to then trust yourself and go within a little bit to come outside of that spiritual journey wiser. But then it's flipping around to the difficulties. So I just feel like there's this cycle that's happened with these cards. Really interesting. So I would love to know if these readings, or just one of these readings, resonates with you and what you're going through right now. I'm really intrigued by this. This was absolutely not what I was expecting when I pulled those cards. I was thinking, cool, let's pick some different card. That didn't happen. Anyway, so I hope that you've enjoyed this unboxing. Don't forget to check out Nisa's flip through in the comments, which is linked in the comments below. And I will see you guys in next week's video. Oh, I'm gonna hate myself when I have to make this video and I've done this, aren't I? But I can come back and do that another day. It's not really a problem. I just see the little train going past. I just dropped down my pants. That sounds wrong. Hang on. I just mean that my mic fell down, and do you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm wearing a dress, but I have sweatpants on. But I pulled my sweatpants down to my knees because it's a little bit cold in here, and this dress has a big slit up the front, and this just fell down there. There we go. That's very interesting, wasn't it? Anyway, I just need some water. What are you saying, baby? 10, 5, 18. Oh, why would they not put the numbers here? I'm not good at maths, you guys. The f does that mean?